I think these days I may have to start all my videos off with a disclaimer. I'm going to have to start censoring myself, which I hate. I actually have to scrutinize my language now for those people who choose to misconstrue because they thrive off of being offended. Also, if it sounds like I'm generalizing in my videos, my apologies. I'm not doing that on purpose. I have never had to police myself to this degree before. Not that I've needed to police myself, but I have to keep reminding myself that not everyone thinks the way that I do, and things could easily be catastrophically misinterpreted. So let me go ahead and say yes. I know that not everything or not every person is forgivable, not everything is either. In today's internet, you have to be hyper specific for all the nitpicking online bureaucratic justice mobs that exist out there who think they're on the show around here. Um, I also I also want to say I hold no political beliefs. This is not that kind of channel. Um, I know that I judge you based on what you do, not what you look like, not who you support. I don't care who you are, who you think you are. Everyone gets treated equally here. And also, there's going to be a video with a lot of segues, but they all lead to the same subject matter: selective morality. I hope you enjoy this video, and thanks for watching if you do. I've been growing increasingly tired of watching people put down other people based on choices they have made in their lives that have absolutely nothing to do with the audience that does not know them personally. I think in their minds they're all doing this in the name of virtue. But I'd love to know how a tarot reader leaving witch talk and moving to Christianity warrants multiple rants against her on the internet. Why can't people just go, oh, okay, and move on? Just find someone else to watch. Why chastise someone and make a mountain out of a molehill, out of things that don't concern you? Are people not allowed to figure out what works for them? And these are the same voices that say, be yourself, but waste no time in breaking you down when you are. They don't seem to grasp that people are allowed to change, that people are supposed to change. People are allowed to live their lives how they want to. They are allowed to change the course of direction of their lives to suit themselves. No one should stay the same. That's the beauty of personal evolution. Before making a hateful video, do you stop and ask yourself, what does any of this have to do with me? In what way does this creator affect me in my life? Should I care? Why should I care? What am I achieving by publicly shaming a person I don't know for choices they've made in their lives that don't affect me personally or professionally in the slightest? And that's not nonchalance, it's not indifference, it's not apathy. It's the way other people choose to live their lives has nothing to do with me at all. And the irony of this video is not lost on me, though within my ramblings a point somewhere. I saw a lady say she left her husband because he supported or he was a Republican or something like that. And then she was being cheered for it. Imagine people pleasing on this level. Imagine contributing significantly to the division you claim to be against. You say you want love and peace, but can barely coexist with a person who thinks differently than you do. I'd imagine being in relationships, platonic or romantic, with people with significant similarities and significant differences would be perfect and keep things interesting. There are plenty of valid reasons to leave your partner for, but political stances are at the bottom of the barrel because neither side cares about you. They're essentially two bickering children going, if you hate that, then I love it. Well, if you love this, then I hate that. You should not feel obligated to strangers. Hysterical, hypocritical strangers should not dictate to you how you live your life. I'll be highlighting the greatest hits in a moment. These performing activists get online and repeat after each other. No one challenges them. They don't challenge themselves. They're all in the same boat, thinking the same thoughts, regurgitating the same opinions, with an inability to consider all perspectives and viewpoints. They have a my way or the highway mentality, screaming at the top of their lungs when things don't go their way, or if someone says something contrary to what they believe. Yet they'll be the first to call out others for being closed minded. Another example of some middle aged guy talking about how he can never listen to System of a Down again because of Darren Malakian's political beliefs. He said he was upset about it too because they'd been one of his favorite bands forever, something like that. It's okay if he wants to do that, I get it, but do you understand how absurd that is? And do you understand what I'm trying to say? Why do these forced empathy performing internet mobsters get carried away like this? Why remove things they like from their lives? Who are you sacrificing this for? What are you protesting against? A mere opinion? Who asked you to stop listening to them? And what difference will it make in Darren Malakian's life if you stop listening to System of a Down? There is nothing in this world powerful enough to make me stop listening to my favorite bands, even if they all got together, formed a club, and told me they hated me. The music didn't do anything to me. And why must everything be announced to the world? You would think the older generation would have more sense, but they're just as sterilized as the new generation, trying to cancel people for their pasts, like no one has those. They stop boycotting everything. Are you so devoid of a future? You have to go digging into a random person's past, going out of your way to ruin a person's life. And for what? Very few people can and do change, so let's not start boxing them all in together. And let's not pretend there's such a thing as perfect people. I get exposing actual evil people, but you do this with everyone. Going back to those older generations, things used to be fun. Nothing was off limits to joke about. Nothing got blown out of proportion. We didn't care. If you were that uptight back then, fine. But if you're this way now, pandering for likes and views is something else entirely. These holier than thou internet mobs like to make you think they care so much about injustice. Well, there's plenty going around in the world, and I'm sure some of them have witnessed them with their own eyes and did nothing about it. Do you think they've helped the people they knew or didn't even know? Do you think they have actually stood up for something or done something good for someone without broadcasting it and needing strangers online to pat them on the back for it? You're not Osiris. You're a court jester. They don't care about justice. They care about how their good person performance looks for the collective. It seems they only care about celebrities' victims because regular people have all been victims of something too. No one's childhood is perfect. So where's the empathy for them? The hive minds are so quick to get angry and turn on people they once saw as peers. They expect perfection from inherently flawed people. You can't be picking sides forever. This isn't a high school clique or a video game. These are very real, complex human lives with their own sets of real world problems. I saw someone else trying to expose the Tiffany plate lady because she's apparently a Scientologist. I'm not saying they should or should not be making their entire content about this. It's their free will, people can do what they want. What I am saying is the comments going, oh, I liked watching her, now I can't. Well, why can't you? Why can't you? I'm not a fan of religion, but why can't people have the freedom to choose which religion or cult they want to belong to? Why are people being judged for every little thing that they do? You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, and while we're on it, so what if Gwen Stefani is a Christian now? Celebrities are still being put on a pedestal. The general public idolizes them so much that they think they should be perfect and not have their own thoughts. They are seen as gods and goddesses. They should be faultless, and if they say or do something that you don't like, then it's unforgivable. They could grovel for the arrogant public's forgiveness, and it still wouldn't be good enough. They're not satisfied, even if you die. And then there are those Sydney Sweeney is a white supremacist online bullies of hers because of jeans and her refusal to answer a few questions. I didn't even realize when I first saw that ad because I don't go looking for stupid things to be outraged by. I don't go out of my way to upset myself. I don't complain about things that I cannot change. I don't glorify celebrities. I don't fill a person's silence with my own political agenda. There are horrifying things in this world happening all around us every single day. We should not be wasting our time criticizing public figures online We should be helping people, animals, the environment, where and when we can. Racism, sexism, misogyny, hateful people, they will always exist. Why make things worse by demeaning yourself to meet them where they are, matching their energy? Can't you see the vicious cycle it's created? Don't you see how people of color are being reduced to something so insignificant, like skin color, because of this? So much so that talents aren't recognized first, but who they are and where they come from. I find that completely insulting and embarrassing as a person of color myself. And I thought we shouldn't be proud of who we are and where we come from, but it's not the only thing that defines us. It's patronizing, is what it is. People that see color first have completely sucked the joy and humor out of life. I notice some white savior complex types will be offended on behalf of other races and cultures as well. Those ones that go, that's cultural appropriation. We have forgotten how to laugh at ourselves and at each other. We have taken things way too seriously and manufactured issues by the majority of people who enjoy creating problems they will want much of before because they've fallen into the trap of identity politics. They want to drag as many people as they can down with them. If you recall, I said I'd be shining a light on the hypocrisies of their policies. How are liberals any better than the side they say they're against? How do you advocate for love and peace, then cheer the death of a man who just talked to people? As far as I know, that is really all he did. I wasn't a fan of his either, but what happened to him was horrible. Do people deserve to die just for having a difference of thought or opinion? No, they don't. Even when liberal empathy is reserved for criminals. A boy is at school senselessly, and they're siding with the kid because all they see is his skin color. Again, judging someone not by their character, not by their actions, but by the shades of their skin. The liberal moral compass is so skewed, so broken, because they would all rather sit and circle jerk each other than use their common sense, lest they be judged and called the same foul things they project onto others. When people accuse them of performative empathy, this is what they mean. Because no matter which side you choose to be on, it should not rob you of your humanity. You should be able to see the tragedy of the situation, and you should naturally be able to feel for the next person, not decide whose side you want to be on because of what they look like. And stop denying people their right to free speech and call other people Nazis. Liberals think they're so different from those right, but everything is black and white for them too. They're so full of this self righteous indignation, they might as well go sit in church with the rest of the Christians they act like. And this is not hate speech, but a mere observation I made years ago of these rigid conservative Christian men who feel the same way about women as Muslim men from stricter countries do. Some far right men will say their culture is better. They assume they're sophisticated because they're white. Men from strict Islamic backgrounds don't know any better because that is what religious indoctrination does to people. Far right men complain about migrant crises, yet subconsciously want to adopt the same culture. Even though they live in their very civilized Western society, they don't want women to be their own people. In fact, they hate feminism. They wish they could take away women's rights and have much younger women for brides and procreation. It's that creepy obsession for purity culture and dominating women. Back in the day, all the far left feminists defended Islam. They're only speaking out now because of the light that's being shone upon the women and girls in Afghanistan. Or how about those who say stop violence against women and turn around and champion for open borders or for biological males to invade female spaces, putting them all at risk for harassment and worse?
I don't want to hurt anybody. I just want to use the bathroom.
You put straight predatory men blatantly pretending to be trans in the same category as actual transgender people. And let's not forget how these far left extremist personalities acted during the group so vehemently pro choice, pro woman, my body, my choice. They were losing their minds when people didn't get. In fact, they wanted them to be against their own will. The lesson here is don't hate, because sooner or later you will turn into the very person you once despised, and you may never realize it. Extremist personalities have no principles, they have no morals, they have no virtues, no integrity, no character, no values, or value for human life because of their tunnel vision. They want to dictate to you who you should believe in and who you should be. If you are not who they want you to be, they will ostracize you, they will bully you, and they will turn on you so quickly. What do you believe in when you're by yourself? Do you know who you are? Why do you need a crowd to help you figure it out? Can you survive without peer approval? With all their moral inconsistencies, do you really think they're the blueprint on how to live life? Do you believe they're the authority on how to decipher right from wrong? They do as they're told and expect you to do the same. They become hysterical over every little thing. For me, things that are serious are all forms of actual abuse to people of any age and animals of all kinds and death. People who speak a ton of hateful things on the internet need to be ignored because when you give them the attention they seek with a performance of outrage and disgust, you're hyping them up. You're giving them the exposure they want, along with a platform to recruit more losers like them, which then leads to another loser click online saying awful things just to say them. Now, I don't have all the answers, and I'm not naive to think these things can change for the better overnight or at all, since humans will always be the most detestable species. What I am saying is maybe if enough of them are ignored, it takes away the power they think they have, the power that you give to them by spreading their hateful content around with your reactions. I know that if enough of actual on those sites, it would be a safer place to live in. But sadly, I don't rule the world. The only option we have right now is to learn how to starve a narcissist. Pick your battles and save your anger for the people who deserve every bit of it. To end this video, I want you to remember children make mistakes, adults make choices. But that does not mean all people are irredeemable, unforgivable. It does not mean we need to hold things over people's heads forever if they don't deserve it. We are all navigating this life together in our own ways. Nobody is perfect. So stop casting stones from your sanitized, overly sterilized little bubbles and listen to me. Many opposing thoughts can exist at the same time. People are allowed to change their minds over things that don't work for them anymore. And they can do this as many times as they want to, because that's how it's supposed to be. You should not be stuck with the same thoughts forever, attracting the same experiences and people over and over again. Here's a short recipe for self preservation. Stop holding people to standards you don't hold yourself to. Stop going out of your way to upset yourself. Stop looking for stupid things to be upset about. If you can fix it, do it. If you can't, let it go. Stop crying about things you can't change and make a difference where you can. Stop glorifying celebrities. Stop comparing yourself to others. Enjoy your life. Stop looking for reasons to suck the joy out of it. Find things that make you happy and do more of it. If you're a parent, put the phone down and raise your children so they don't end up being the type of person I end up talking about in my videos. I'm tired of the generational. It has to stop with someone, okay? Okay, and I'll catch you in the next one.